Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I know that many of you have traveled some distance to be here for this important event, and we at the Colorado Association of Realtors are most grateful for your time and interest. I am honored to serve as the 2016 chairman of the 23,000-member Colorado Association of Realtors. As you will learn this morning, our members are excited to become advocates on behalf of wildfire education and awareness. You'll hear about Project Wildfire and our efforts to partner with outstanding like-minded organizations like the West Region Wildfire Council, the Log Hill Volunteer Fire Department, and others to combine resources in this important work.
In 2013, Governor Hickenlooper appointed a task force which suggested a number of policy recommendations affecting wildfire preparedness and mitigation. Wildland-urban interface areas, otherwise known as the WUI, encompass a vast amount of Colorado's residential areas. Two key recommendations by this task force were property owner education and monetary incentives to help with the cost for mitigating the inherent risks of living near the WUI. The report also contained proposals which we as realtors frankly felt could negatively impact real estate development, home ownership, transactional costs, and insurance availability and costs. At CAR, we believe that educating property owners about the risks of wildfire and the best ways to mitigate will have the most immediate and lasting impact in reducing the threat and damage of such wildfires. Or as I like to say, going off script, doing paperwork doesn't really solve the problem, and it certainly never stopped the fire threat. Recently, we've witnessed the tragic impact of a massive wildfire in Alberta, Canada. Though last year we were spared significant damage from wildfires in our state, we can easily recall some of the devastating fires that have impacted our state in recent years.
It is important to call attention to all the partners who are here today, whose respective communities, organizations, and agencies make up the Greater West Region Wildfire Council. As a founding principle, the Council seeks to provide a collaborative platform for working together to promote wildfire preparedness and prevent the loss of life and property due to catastrophic wildfire. As homeowners, as realtors, community leaders, business owners, elected officials, firefighters, and agency representatives, and other key community partners, we all have a collective interest and responsibility to take an active role in preparing our communities for wildfire. Colorado's wildland-urban interface is expected to grow by 300% in the next 15 years. That's not to mention the already 2 million Colorados that live in fire-prone areas. Numbers like those certainly reaffirm what we all know in terms of the risks that we face. As old fire suppression paradigms are slowly beginning to fade and we are starting to embrace more understanding and acceptance of the natural role of fire on the landscape, we have an opportunity to affect change and take action that will help our communities adapt to live with wildfire. Working to adapt communities to wildfire, to live with fire, can lessen the often catastrophic outcome.
Since 2009, the Log Hill Fire Department shifted the way it looks at wildland fires in the WUI areas. We recognize the importance of being proactive within our district and how we can prepare for major wildland incidents. Before, we had always focused on operations and tactics, on how we handle large fires. But as we start to really look at what it takes to be successful at handling large wildland fires, we learn the importance of being proactive in the community in which we protect and getting the information and education out there to our customers. One, to know the risks that they can encompass. And two, to educate them and give them the information and resources that would ultimately give them a better chance of surviving and protecting their property against wildfires.
But we're lucky in that we have a large mix of types of forests, types of trees. We do not have as A lot of people noticed several years ago in Summit County one monoculture of lodgepole pine. We have ponderosa, juniper, spruce, aspen, and white fir. A lot of people have noticed in Uray County several years ago started to die on a massive scale. And this presented a problem in a lot of ways that was not dealt with comprehensively until recently. When I was running for county commissioner several years ago, a lot of people said, well, what can the county do? What role does the county have in this problem? Isn't it just a city of Uray issue or a property owner issue or a fire district issue? The county, it turns out, can play a central role in organizing a lot of the resources that are available.
We're going to be making 3 stops. We're going to be visiting a shaded fuel break that was completed as part of a landscape scale fuels reduction project done cross-boundary on fire department, private landowner, and open space in the community. We're also going to be looking at a home that is currently on the market. It has not been mitigated, so we are going to be sharing with all of you, West Region Wildfire Council staff and State Forest Service personnel are going to be sharing with all of you what we typically look for when we go to a home that has not been mitigated and talking with you about the recommendations that we would make specific to that home. And then we're going to be stopping at a home where a mitigation project was just completed this fall.
Valley, ag burns, we get lightning strikes here on the canyon rim. You know, where it's placed, it's really good. Also, the way that not only where it's placed, but you know how we laid it out. So being laid on the escarpment.
Through the science related to when a wildfire comes through a community, or through experimental research, which is done in laboratories and in field experiments, is that there are a number of ways that homes are actually ignited. We can obviously all imagine, you know, these trees right behind us on fire in a huge conflagration of a giant wildfire.